It was supposed to be a season of celebration for Britain's oldest dynasty. The Lionesses had finally brought football home. For once, the tabloids thirsted for royal photo calls rather than royal funerals. Summer's calendar was meticulously plotted: a parade of garden parties, charity walks, staged family outings. Every event chosen to reinforce, with almost clinical precision, the mirage of unity that palace photographers strive to capture: the smiling king, the dutiful heirs, the children laughing, the queen consort strong at his side. A family above suspicion. But in this gilded season, everything shattered in a single, icy night, when news broke of a tragic royal death. A cousin to Princes William and Harry, found lifeless, alone in her London apartment, sending a tidal wave of panic not just through England, but across the Atlantic. At Buckingham Palace, protocol collided with panic. Official responses seemed almost offensive in their hollowness. "No comment," whispered down the line to the waiting press, a phrase that reverberated through newsroom speakers, as if it could contain the chaos now boiling within royal walls. Crisis meetings stretched till sunrise. The staffers most trusted just weeks before were rotated or sidelined, faces grown pinched and sleepless as the monarchy's fabled mask of composure began to tear. Personal protection officers moved almost in formation through the halls, not just scanning for safety threats, but for clues on the faces of royal family members, the ashen hands of the princes, the fury in the clenched jaw of a future king. "You can feel it in the air," murmurs an anonymous senior aide. "It's like everyone's waiting for the next bomb to drop. No one knows what, or who, will go next." The sense of threat is everywhere. As grief spread, so did unease. No royal death is ordinary, but this one wore the stench of secrecy and unspoken bargains. London's elite traded rumors, each more sinister than the last. Was this cousin simply another tragic casualty of the Windsor curse, generations marked by addiction, heartbreak, and suicide? Or is her fate the chilling signal of deeper rot, decades of denied trauma, family history airbrushed for public comfort, untreated despair lingering inside the firm's safe rooms? The media would call it unexplained, but within the palace's hidden corridors, paranoia grew more pointed. Is there a predator among them, someone manipulating the family's private agony for advantage, pushing aides, siblings, even royal children to new extremes for leverage? For a moment, past and present blurred into one throbbing crisis. William and Harry, estranged for years, but newly linked in the shadow of death, sent only perfunctory, separate statements, each colder than the last. William, circles under his eyes, whispered orders to his private secretary: "Seal the circle. Trust no one. Run background checks on everybody, no matter how long they've served." Even within his inner circle, loyalty tests became routine. Meanwhile, in Montecito, Harry's rage echoed. Sources say he smashed a phone at the news. Meghan, ever the strategist, urged restraint. But privately, the Sussexes now compile their own list of betrayals, their own dossier of unanswered questions, ready for the next round of warfare, should palace secrets start to leak. It wasn't just the estranged brothers. Every branch of the Windsor family tree seemed scorched by the slow-moving fire. Kate, Princess of Wales, her public persona forever caught between adoration and attack, was quietly refusing any non-essential travel for her children, telling confidants, "I want them nowhere near the palace until I know it's safe." Her power was growing not just as future queen, but as a fierce, almost paranoid guardian of heirs, wielding new influence over royal routines and internal strategy, commanding from behind closed doors as only those with true leverage can. In staff meetings, she now sits nearest the door, an unspoken reminder that her children's safety will come before any protocol, any photo op, any demand from Charles or William. Meanwhile, the Queen Consort, Camilla, vanished from the limelight, citing health woes that aides won't specify. Behind high walls, whispers of late-night shouting matches with Charles multiply. Observers notice her schedule thinning, her moods darkening. She's seen less at public events, delegating everyday tasks to a dwindling set of trusted aides. Even Charles is rumored to be emotionally and physically depleted, his infamous temper now prone to wild swings. Every morning begins with fraught briefings: what can and cannot be said publicly, who can and cannot be trusted among the hundreds of palace menials, which doors must now remain locked even from the inside. The cousin's sudden death acted as a grisly catalyst, a resurrection of old demons thought long exorcised. The ghost of Princess Diana now stalks the corridors with fresh vigor. Her name is whispered between staff as both a warning and a curse. This is what happens when you bury the family's pain. The press busies itself comparing photographs, charting the descent of Windsor children going back generations, while inside, the more honest staffers and aides study each other, pale, exhausted, casualties in a culture that now feels less like a family and more like a fortress under siege. You're either part of the war, or you're on the outside, a former assistant confides. There is no middle anymore. Survival is the job. In the vacuum of real answers, financial scandals rush in. As the public's faith in royal virtue buckles, journalists discover new leaks. Government subsidies funneled into secret accounts, vast emergency stipends, paid to silence wandering family members, inherited fortunes quietly transferred to offshore trusts, just weeks before the latest crisis. Viral editorials demand to know, why must taxpayers pick up the bill for palace dysfunction? Opposition MPs clamour for emergency audits. Their attacks suddenly deadly serious with an election looming. Palace lawyers circle the wagons, drafting court orders to chill further inquiry. The court's real war plays out where the cameras will never reach. William is said to be privately drafting an entirely new succession protocol to remove from the line of succession any royal relative deemed a reputational risk or potential whistleblower. Harry, meanwhile, has retained lawyers in both London and Los Angeles, strategizing new legal counterattacks if further information leaks about his own past or about the children's royal futures. PR spin doctors from every side plant competing stories in the international media, tales of heroism and heartbreak, hints of blackmail and victimization, spinning an endless narrative tapestry, in which every member of the royal household is either tragic hero or a potential traitor. Even Camilla's closest circle, terrified, now speak in code about exit plans, with the Queen Consort rumored to have met alone with her own team of barristers, preparing new legal arrangements in the event the House of Windsor implodes. Charles himself is reportedly entertaining unprecedented plots, emergency abdications, secretly convened lists of interim regents, names shared only with the tightest circle, in case his illness worsens or spirals into incapacity. At the highest levels, those closest to the throne move like chess grandmasters, every maneuver calculated for self-preservation, not legacy or love. The British public, once enchanted by the fairytale, now plunges into digital archives, scouring every trace for buried clues. Who's next? Will the monarchy endure? Rumors surge through online forums, claims that MI5 has stationed discreet agents inside palace walls, their mission not just to protect, but to suppress leaks that could trigger disaster. Journalists swap encrypted messages, unsure if their wildest theories came from a colleague or a well-placed palace mole. All this takes place as the world continues to cheer the Lioness's victory, proof, palace PR insists, that the crown still rallies the nation in times of crisis. Never before has a football result mattered so much for royal survival, laughs a source, but underneath, not one real problem is solved. Victory parades pass beneath Buckingham's gilded gates, all the while inside, new security protocols are debated, heirlooms shuffled to more secure vaults, even the royal pets spirited to private countryside homes to avoid contamination, perhaps literal, perhaps only emotional. Palace finances, considered untouchable for centuries, spill into the open through leaked legal files and widowed accountants' quiet confessions. Hidden trust funds, off-the-books retainers, unexplained donations from private European friends. At a time when British families count every penny, the idea that the monarchy's drama costs millions cuts deeper than ever. As night falls on the mall, crowds cling to the gates, hoping for a wave or a candle in a window. But inside, silence reigns, broken only by the relentless ping of encrypted phones, the hurried footsteps of aides, the midnight whispers of those who still believe the system can be saved. Each day brings a new rumor, another resignation, a frantic memo, a closed-door negotiation that could upend the line of succession itself. Old allies break ranks. Furious siblings burn bridges in private, only to reunite for the next photo-op. Whistleblowers and jilted staffers hurry to finish their tell-alls, each manuscript another live grenade. What, in the end, remains of the monarchy if the traditions turn to farce? A royal house desperately clinging to spectacle and secrecy, a family fighting not just enemies outside their gates, but the ghosts and rivalries within. The spark that could ignite the next crisis may already be in motion. Stay with us, because this story is evolving by the hour. As the lionesses lift their trophy for the cameras, somewhere deep within Buckingham's labyrinthine walls, the battle for the future of the crown simmers ever hotter. The next headline might reveal everything, or bury it for another generation. Don't turn away. Comment your wildest theory, hit like if you're craving the truth, subscribe for the next royal bombshell, and ring that bell, because in the House of Windsor, nothing is ever truly as it seems. The unraveling has only begun.